The day's finally come. They're discontinuing the Bolt. Let's go talk about it. So here I am sitting in one of my traditional spots, and that is in my 2022 Chevy Bolt EUV. And it's sad because a lot of people aren't going to be able to experience this vehicle, and it has been my favorite vehicle I've ever owned. Not just because it was my first EV ever, that definitely plays into it, I think, but this vehicle has been with me through some of the hardest times in my life, and obviously it's not a person, so it can't emotionally support me, but when you go through a lot of periods in your life that you either look back on fondly or some you don't look back on so fondly, and you have something there with you the whole time, part of your daily routine, it becomes a little bit kind of, like a companion in a weird way. And this car has definitely been with me through some of the best times in my life and some of the worst times in my life in the last couple years. We'll talk about this towards the end of the video with what I'm gonna do next, but I don't think I'm gonna stick with the Chevy Bolt after this year. And it doesn't really have anything to do with the topic of this video, which is the fact that the Bolt is being discontinued, with 2023 being the final model year. It's more so just to do with the fact that I like to continuously progress forward with the things that I own, whether that be my phone. I don't stick with a phone more than a year. I'm always upgrading my phone. And I've always just upgraded my car after my lease is up. It's just the way I prefer to do things. It doesn't work for everybody. It's not right for everybody. But for me, especially with the fact that I'm, now in the electric vehicle space and I could never go back to the gas space, upgrading every year, staying modern with battery technology, staying modern with driver assistance technology, it's just the way to go for me, and I think for a lot of people it'll be that way with EVs. So we'll talk about that at the end of the video, but the Bolt is being discontinued, and I will first and foremost say that it is not surprising to me at all. We should have all seen this coming when 2022 came out with a new kind of reimagining of the EV with the EUV, and then a redesign for the EV, both of which were not built on the third generation Ultium platform. That should have been red flag number one, that they weren't going to stick with this long term. I've known for about a year and a half that the Bolt was going to be discontinued. I'd heard rumors a little bit earlier than that, but it wasn't that surprising to me when the news finally came out. It was just a when, not if type situation. Red flag number two is more recent, and that is that they stopped doing the battery upgrades for every single Bolt that was recalled back in 2020. I made an entire video about Bolt fires as well as just electric vehicle recalls. I'll put it up here in the corner of the screen if you want to check it out. Definitely head on over and watch that video after this one. But they decided to stop actually replacing the batteries. Instead, they're pushing an additional software update that will monitor your battery and will let you know if you need to get your battery replaced versus just blanketly replacing all of them. So I'm interested to see if they'll do that with mine, because I do have a battery ordered. So I wonder if they'll just go ahead and replace it since they have it ordered, or if they'll give me the software update and not replace the battery. I don't know. It seems to be that most of the replacements that were necessary were like 18, 19 range. I don't know if I'll ever get that battery upgrade, but I'll keep you guys posted on that for sure, and I'll bring you along if I do get the update. But for now, they're just pushing the software update, so they're kind of slowing the recall down a little bit.
What's going on, guys? Future Lewis here, back with two important updates. One, I do have a cold, as you can probably tell. But two, I also have a podcast now. So me and my co-host Colin Farmer recently started the Metz Tech podcast. We talk all things technology and the electric vehicle space. Episode 1 is live here on YouTube in video format, as well as in audio format, anywhere you get your podcast, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Overcast, you name it, you can follow us over there. In episode 1, we talked entirely about the Bolt being discontinued. So if you're enjoying this video and you want 36 more minutes of the future of the lineup, the future of the nameplate, and all kinds of other goodies, definitely click the link down in the description to watch the video version. And again, anywhere you get your podcast, you can listen to the audio version. New episodes will go live every Monday here on the channel, and then shortly after will be available on audio platforms. If you guys have any topic ideas you want us to discuss, you can email podcast@itsmetz.tech or follow us on Instagram at Metz Tech Podcast and send us a DM and we'll check out your topic ideas. Let's get back to the video.
And then sort of red flag number 3 is that they came out with the Equinox EV. Well, they announced the Equinox EV. It's not out yet. It's got a lot of updates that the Bolt does not have, whether that's driver infotainment system, the Ultium battery, all the different type of stuff. That's a major difference between that and the Bolt lineup. So you kind of could tell that it was like, it's not really going to sync. It's not going to gel and match up well. So they probably need to go ahead and can the Bolt. But I don't think they're going to can the Bolt for long. The nameplate itself carries so much cachet. It was the first mass-produced electric vehicle that was affordable. And that was so significant when it came out in 2017. It took a little bit to catch on, but I think that over time, the name itself has built up so much cachet that there's no way they can just sit on it forever. I think they're going to have to do something with it. It's just not going to be right now. And we know this based on a recent interview that the CEO, Mary Barra, did with NPR, I'm pretty sure. And she was asked kind of, why did you discontinue the Bolt? And her answer was this quote right here: because it's our second generation technology. The difference between our second generation and third generation, which is Ultium, is a 40% reduction in battery costs. It always comes back to cost. And we're leveraging the names of our vehicles that people understand and are known in the industry. People who drive an Equinox today will understand what an Equinox EV is, I'm adding that is, what that delivers to them. But the Bolt is something that has built up a lot of loyalty and equity, so I can't say more because I don't discuss future product programs, but it was primarily a move from second gen to third generation, but it's an important vehicle in our portfolio. That last line is everything. The Bolt badge is a very, very important vehicle in the Chevy lineup. And I think it's important to have. I think you have to give people options as far as size and capability so that you're more likely to get them to stick with your brand. Like GM wants to give people options. You got to have the budget entry-level option as well. So the Bolt is super important. But what they're going to have to do is they're going to have to shut down production, retool with the third generation platform, then ramp production back up. And I'd say that's probably going to take 5 years. 3 to 5 is probably my guess. So somewhere around 2026 to 2028, I think we'll see a reimagined Bolt third generation Ultium platform, or whatever platform is what they're working on at the time, in 5 years or so. I don't think the Bolt is dead forever. I think that's pretty obvious in the comments made by GM CEO right there. And not only that, but there's just no way. You can't kill off an iconic nameplate like the Bolt. I liken it a little bit to when Volkswagen discontinued the Beetle. Now, I'm not at all saying that the Beetle and the Bolt are on the same level as far as, nameplate recognition, but you can't kill the Beetle forever. The Beetle's going to come back, I believe. And I think it's going to come back in the form of an EV at some point. Now, will it look exactly the same? Probably not. Will it be similar? I think so. I think it'll be similar. And just like the Beetle had its place in vehicle history, Bolt has its place as being the first mass-produced entry-level electric vehicle for the common person. And that is extremely important. And you can't just throw that nameplate away. Now, I did mention at the beginning of the video that this will be, one of the last couple videos that I probably make in the Chevy Bolt EV. I got it for another year, so there will definitely be more videos inside of this little set that I use pretty frequently for videos. I love my Bolt, like I said. I just always feel the need to just keep moving forward and keep upgrading. And, since they're discontinuing it, I won't have that option for many more years. Now, I don't know if I've mentioned this in the past, but I do have a deposit down on the Equinox EV. So whenever that becomes available, I'm going to most likely get that, depending on what kind of configuration I can get for what price. Well before it became kind of everybody that's a tech YouTuber has a Tesla for just whatever reason. I've wanted one. But my fear in getting a Tesla is that the market for making videos on Teslas and talking about them is so saturated because people have been doing it for so long, and it's kind of got a stigma to it and that I don't really like. And that's a little bit of my hesitation for that. But I'd love to talk with you guys in the comments down below what you think I should do. But there's plenty of awesome electric vehicles out there, and more of them keep getting produced. The Mustang Mach-E, I've been in one. Those are really cool. I just made a video on the Kia EV6 if you guys want to check that out. It's a really awesome vehicle as well. Hyundai's making some awesome electric vehicles right now. The Ioniq 5, the Ioniq 6. I just saw an Ioniq 6 the other day. It looks absolutely sick, but that Ioniq 5 is definitely up there in vehicles that I'd love to have. So plenty of options now, more options than there have ever been, and that's really exciting from a EV owner and somebody who absolutely loves the space. But until then, I'm going to be making plenty of videos for you guys about the Bolt. I've already made a ton of videos about the Bolt. I have an entire playlist. I'll have it linked down in the description if you want to learn everything there is to know. If you plan on picking one up kind of as a collector's item, or you just really love them and you want to get them at a lower price, that may be possible. You never know. Sometimes things become really rare and really expensive, and sometimes they become rare and people don't want them anymore because they lose support and things like that. So you never know how it's going to go. But until then, drop a like in the video if you guys loved it. Tell me in the comments down below if you're going to pick up a Bolt, what you think about it being discontinued. Let's have a conversation down in the comments. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button to be among the first to see every single new video the second I hit publish. We'll see you in the next one.